we'll be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. Today, we are looking into Pioneer, a format that has returned to prominence in the post-ban era, and looks really sweet. I know we had a pretty significant test of the format and of the new metagame last weekend with the Showcase Challenge that happens a couple times a season, and the results from that are really encouraging for this post-combo Pioneer metagame. A lot of diversity in what was doing well, both in terms of just total decks, but also in the different strategies that those decks employ, which I think is really important.
Yeah, the combo decks had such a stranglehold on this format. It's kind of like what Field of the Dead does to a format where, it completely shuts down like an entire archetype. Not an entire archetype, but an entire strategy. It just shuts down mid-range and like even kind of shuts down control. That's what the combo decks were doing to just a ton of different strategies. And now that we see the combo decks gone, the top 8 look diverse. If you look down through top 32 of that event, so many different decks, a lot of really, really fun decks that people enjoy playing that maybe weren't as successful when you had to play against Inverter. Mainly all the decks I really enjoyed to play got wrecked by Inverters, so I went from hating the format to absolutely loving it, and I even played in that event, and I took ninth. I took ninth on Breakers, and I lost out to this really amateur player. His screen name's LSV. I don't know.
3 letters? It's kind of weird.
I know, yeah. God. He's playing this blue-white control strategy. He got so lucky against me. I don't know if he's a known player or anything, but it was so brutal to lose on Breakers to that person. But
yeah, sometimes you get unlucky. You lose to nobodies.
You just to nobodies, yeah. All right. Maybe he's not so much a nobody. LSB kind of slapped me up, but yeah, it was really fun. I got to play Jeskai Luca, which is a deck I'll be playing later. A little spoiler there. By far my favorite deck. But a lot of cool decks. Around.
Metagame looks great. We are starting with, I think 2 of the decks that would have been pretty obvious going into this tournament.
Yep.
But have both continued to be quite good. I'm going to be playing Mono Black Aggro. This list comes from that top 8. This is Belovo, Thiago Saporito, who's played Mono Black for months on end. And consistently done really well with the deck. Probably its preeminent pilot. Top 8 in one of the biggest Pioneer tournaments to date, and so no surprise there. And this deck is just always around. It was doing well even in that combo era because it has that combination of pressure and disruption against combo decks, but it has enough resilience to beat mid-range decks and beat control decks as well. And now you get to go a little bit bigger. This list has 4 copies of Rankle, which I love, and a little bit less removal in the main. Only the 1 Heartless Act to supplement those Fatal Pushes and Murderous Riders, but got a good selection of removal and other disruption options in the sideboard. And then on Corey's side is going to be playing Mono Green Devotion. This is the list pioneered by Aspiring Spike with Karn the Great Creator. This is the list that actually won the Showcase Challenge, going EXO in the tournament.
Yeah, Doomwake went 12-0. I was his casualty at 7-0, and we had a crazy game. I mean, it came down to like 1 draw. He got me with the old double Nykthos when I wasn't expecting him to be able to get to 10 mana to Ulamog me, so I had a kind of a setup turn, and then he just I got 2 of this land and generated 14 mana or whatever. But the mono green deck looks awesome, and this is one of the deck that actually uses the unbanning of Oath of Nissa. Most of them were just benefiting off the bans.
Yeah.
And one last thing about Tiago's deck, he was actually bummed about the bans. He's like, they took away my buy. He's like, he just destroyed Inverter, and it makes sense. So, but to be fair, Sultai hasn't really come back because Niv Mizzet absolutely crushes that deck. So, the deck's worst matchup doesn't really exist right now because of the state of affairs. So, Mono Black is pretty good right now, but Mono Green just has always been good, hustling out these very effective planeswalkers and Vivian, Karn, and Nissa while backing it up with decent creatures and the threat of your sideboard with all sorts of, really strong plays. Just make for a really strong deck.
Yeah, and it has this ability to be aggressive. You can play these Jadelight Rangers, Burning Emissaries, and Nissa lands, and form this motley crew that really does put a lot of pressure on your opponent when you accelerate them out so quickly. But you can also play a long game, just grinding value with all of these Planeswalkers, and it's that versatility that really gives the mono green deck its power.
Yeah.
And Oath of Nissa plays into that by letting you, that card selection lets you modify your game plan based on what's going on or what the matchup is, and it also just lets you set up those early Nykthos turns a lot more consistently.
And the most important thing, you can cast your Planeswalkers for any color of mana. So your forest can put into play any of your green Planeswalkers. Doesn't matter the converted mana cost of the green.
I mean, I can imagine that, like, 1 in 100 games, you have 2 Nykthoses and 2 forests, and you get to cast a Vivian.
I guess, yeah. If you legend rule it out, yeah, exactly. So it could come up, but probably not too likely.
No, probably not going to happen very often.
But yeah, I mean, Pioneer is awesome right now. Modern is still, the king of the castle for me, just because I still love that format. But Pioneer is quickly approaching, and when we got 2 good Eternal formats like this, I'm just kind of in heaven, because Standard may not be my favorite right now. I just like Team of Reclamation, so I'm a little personally biased, but I'm a big fan of Pioneer.
There's 2 steps left, as far as I'm concerned, for Pioneer. One is getting it on Arena.
Yeah.
And hopefully that happens, relatively soon. I know that's part of their long-term plan. And 2 is getting these mana bases equalized across color pairs, because I would love to see what I think, in particular, Gruul and Selesnya as color pairs have a lot of interesting synergies to build around for aggressive strategies, but they have a really hard time doing that with the mana bases that are available.
Yeah.
That said, I will be playing a Naya deck coming up, but that deck's mana base is like kind of meh, and it is basic green, so it helps the when you build it. We'll get to that deck when we get to it.
I'm also playing a Naya deck next round, but I'm also playing the other colors as well. I'm also playing Dimir with my Naya.
That doesn't count as Naya then.
What?
That's not how it works.
What? I'm playing every shard. So if you ask, are you playing Dimir? I'd be like, yes. Are you playing Naya? Yes. Are you playing Celestia? Yes. I'm doing it all.
That's not how it works.
Tell them to visit that.
I will.
Okay.
Next time we play poker every Thursday.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow. And I never even get invited. Brutal.
Yeah, Nivinza doesn't like you.
Oh, that's not true. We hang out so often when we play Magic together. So, all right, shall we get to it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Yeah, and also, did you see the Amonkhet Remastered coming to Arena?
I don't even. Apparently, there's a bunch of other cards like Thoughtseize and Wrath of God or something.
So it's the slow progression into Pioneer coming to Arena. They're trying out all these cards and stuff like that.
But there are cards that aren't in Pioneer, right? That are in that set.
Yeah, there's some randomness. Yeah.
So I don't.
Oh, it's crazy. But we got.
There was actually a question about whether y'all knew what was in Historic or whether you'd ever know.
Well,
I think the answer is always no on that, right?
First of all, no one knows. But I did just do our podcast on it, so we looked over the things, and like halfway through the podcast, me and Brad are just like, "Wait, this card's in here?" Like there's Anger the God splash in there. It's just all kinds of random stuff.
We should just start having a quiz where you just throw out card names and we have to answer: is this card historic, legal, or not?
Yeah. Oh, it'd be perfect. It'd be a tough one. But I'm saying we got to try that for one of these shows because Historic looks absolutely crazy right now.
I don't know.
All right, I will start. This doesn't look insane or anything, but can't mulligan this. I'll keep.
I was initially leaning towards mulliganing this hand, but I think in this matchup, this hand actually seems fine because these are the threats that I really want, and I want to interact early, and that's what this hand does. Even though if on the surface it looks a little slow, I think it's what we want to be doing in this matchup.
Well, bring it on then, Ross. I'm going to start with an Oath. Interact with that.
Unfortunately, black decks don't interact with enchantments very well.
They really don't. Let's see. What do I want to be doing? I think I just want to land here. So I'm just going to get a land. Pass to you.
Okay, I will play a swamp and pass the turn.
All right. I am going to play Wolfwillow Haven. Your go.
Okay. Let's go with a Scrappy Scrounger.
Scroungy?
Pass the turn.
Love it. All right. So I'm going to go with 2 green. Haven. 3 green, Jade Light. Bang. Bang. All right, I got enough lands now. Your go.
That is scary.
I do have lots of lands, that's for sure. Yeah, that would be a good game to play. Is this historic legal? The answer is always no one knows.
Attack for 3.
Well, I can outclass Scrounger pretty quickly, but you're not going to be able to bring it back for a while, and my 2/1 Jade Light is not very good either. I am actually going to block here.
Okay. Pass the turn.
Okay. I'm really looking for a Planeswalker. That's kind of goal number 1, so I'm going to start with an Oath.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're going to take Karn.
That is a Planeswalker.
That is a Planeswalker. We found it. Oops.
Unlike Bono.
All right, I'm going to go with Karn. All right, I'm going to look at my sideboard for no particular reason. So I'm not really going to be able to cast anything right now, and it could die, so I should get something that's good no matter what next turn. I still will have a land to play. So it's 4, 5, 6. Okay. I think I almost just want to get this God Pharaoh statue to really slow you down. You don't interact with artifacts very well at all. So yeah, we're going to start with this.
Okay.
And then I'm going to play a Mystic. Pass to you.
You have 4 in hand now?
Yep.
So I have Statue, Forest, XX.
Yep.
Okay. Iron, step all, push the Elvish Mystic.
Okay.
I'll play a Rankle and attack the Karn.
All right, that's pretty good.
Pass the turn.
Okay, so I can make all your spells cost more now, which makes it pretty tricky for you. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's a definite play that I can do. Just looking at this for no reason. Huh. All right, so I'm going to play a land. And God Pharaoh statue is just everything you play. Costs 2 more, right? Yeah. That seems like what I want to get first. So, yeah, let's do that.
Yep.
And pass to you.
I lose a life on your end step.
Yep.
19.
Actually, I'm going to hold this land.
Attack for 3.
Okay. 17.
I'm going to have us both discard a card.
Okay. Just that?
Yep. Discarding Dread Wanderer, now that it costs 3 to cast anyway.
Yeah,
pretty free value. I'll play Spawn of Mayhem for 5 mana.
Okay.
That's the turn.
All right. Whoa. Anytime you draw Nykthos, your eyes widen a little bit.
It doesn't net mana right now.
Yeah, it's not very good now.
3 Devotion is the break-even point.
Yep.
Does tap for black, though.
That's true.
Which can then be used for any color for a Planeswalker.
Yep. So, what do I want to cast here? I think I'm going to cast a Hydra. I think I want to do it for 4 and fight Spawn, but I'm kind of thinking Rankle as well. It's pretty close. Spawn gets bigger, but Rankle can just deal with the Voracious Hydra, so that probably seems safer. All right, I'm going to do for 4 and fight Rankle. And then I will pass to you. You lose a life.
And step, I go to 18. Upkeep, I go to 17. You go to 16.
Yep.
From the Spawn. Attack you for 4.
Okay, I will go to 12.
12. Then I will Fatal Push the Voracious Hydra.
It's dead.
And return Dread Wanderer.
Okie dokie.
Pass the turn.
Oh, yeah, it is Battlefield. All right. It's kind of spicy.
Yeah, 1 card in hand.
All right.
You've got 4?
Yep. I'll play Nykthos and then just do this for 5 and same thing. And pass to you, lose a life.
Yeah, I'm at 16.
Mm-hmm. Let my Hydra live. Yeah, Godfur statue is not as effective this game as I kind of thought it was. Maybe that was an incorrect pick. But it's kind of done something.
Yeah. You have 2 in hand now?
Yep.
So you're going to have 9 mana next turn, 10 of the land drop. Statue's definitely been annoying.
Yeah.
You know, this is a deck that uses extra mana really well.
Yep.
With the Mutavault and Castle Lochthwain and the recursive threats. And
Yep. Definitely did a decent job of being annoying. Which, ask my older brother, I do well.
I don't need to ask him.
Why, has he told you before? Or I don't get what you're saying. I don't get what you're implying here.
I am going to play a Knight of the Ebon Legion and pass the turn.
Okay.
Hopefully this turn does not obliterate me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So this is 5. All right. What do we want to do? Well, we're going to start with adding 5 mana. Karn.
Yep. So 1 floating.
Yep.
What? Is this a boat?
Could be a boat. It could be the Great Henge. Could be a serpent. That's pretty bad. Pithing Needle is pretty bad. Could be a Gear Hulk. A boat is not that great because it doesn't actually kill Knight of the Ebon Legion right now. So 1 floating. The Great Henge costs
4.
Is it power? Yeah. Costs 4.
You play it with 1 floating again.
It's not terrible. Emrakul, we don't have enough for that. Enchantment creature, land, planeswalker. So this is 9. 1 floating, 5.
Potentially cast it next turn.
3, 8. Actually, one off. It might just be best to get a Gear Hulk here and just play a little defense. Kind of sounds good. Okay. Yeah, let's get a Gear Hulk. I could see a boat as well, but... So that can pump twice to get up to 8. So if I want to be able to block... All right. Yeah, let's get a Gear Hulk. So 1 floating.
Now you'll be tapped out.
Yep. Let's go with... God, I could just jam here. You don't really have a way to kill this then, besides attacking with this. And then I could trade, essentially. Yeah. Let's do that. And pass to you.
Okay. Can return the Scrounger.
Okay. Oh, lose 1 life.
Yeah, that's true. I'm at 15.
Oh, yeah.
You have 1 card in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a Swift End that I've had for quite a while here.
It's pretty
The
good.
question is where it's going to go. And I could kill the Gear Hulk and then, make an attack. I guess I could like send everything at Karn, make sure Karn dies, and you just eat the Knight. And then I'm left with this against your Hydra and your card in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, your worst case scenario for you is you just start making 2/2s, which are fine against my board anyway. I can kill the 8/8 and then make an attack that's like this at Karn, these at you, so that if you eat Knight, which is what the creature you really want to block, you still take a good chunk of damage, and I deal with the Karn. At that point, you would probably just block the Scrounger, save your Karn, take 5, go to 7. Then you'd be at 7, the Knight would get a counter, and suddenly we'd be in a point where the Knight is pretty good against your board, but you would have a turn where you have 9 mana and a Karn to minus, probably just get Great Henge, and if you have any creature remaining between your card in hand and top card, it can get tough for me. This game's going to be tough for me regardless. And then the other option is to just kill the Karn, make sure that, that doesn't bother me, and then I just have no good attack.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem there is I'm at 15, and you have an 8/8 Trampler, and I'm losing a life a turn. I don't think I win that race. So I think I have to kill the Gear Hulk.
I agree.
So I'm going to go to 13.
Yep. I agree with your evaluation.
And now the question becomes, can I afford to just throw the Knight away and deal with the Karn? And honestly, I don't think I can. I think you have so many awesome top decks. I need to end this game. So I'm going to activate Mutavault and make that second attack I talked about. Scrounger at Karn, everything else at you.
Block.
Actually, maybe I should. Yeah, you're definitely going to block this, so I should get the damage in.
Yep.
So you go to 7.
Okay.
And on the end step, this gets counter.
That sounds good to me.
I'll pass the turn.
That sounds good to me. I think I would have made sure Karn died. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can just Ulamog you here.
No, it only finds artifacts.
Oh.
Ulamog's there to find with.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I was like, that didn't seem good for you.
Ulamog Emrakul me with the Karn.
Yeah, all right. Well, that makes more sense. But I guess Boat is still pretty good.
Also, Ross, don't forget your Riders on an Adventure.
Yeah.
Riders on the... Can it be a Riders on the Storm when it's on an adventure? Riders on the Storm.
And you do just get Boat here and deal with the Knight.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Maybe I was supposed to just kill the Karn.
I think you have to, personally, because you could have just left this back.
Left this back, yeah. And the other 3.
So I'm going to go 5, hit the Boat. So now, what is this? 5 mana to sack? Oh, only during your turn.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to just tap out now and make yourself a 2/2.
So I can't really crew here if I attack, but I mean, 5 is a pretty big attack, but I don't mind just holding back Karn. Karn can tick up on this Godfarer statue and make a gigantic attack or 2, so I think I'm just going to play defense. Make a 2/2 Wolf. I will play a Forest and pass to you and take 1.
Yeah, I'm at 12. Yeah, I should have just killed the Karn.
I think so too.
Still think I'm in rough shape.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's not a bad draw. It's not going to be good enough. It's not a bad draw.
But now I get to do my best T-Pain impression. I'm on a boat.
Push the Voracious Hydra.
All right, I'll crew the boat.
Yep. Now I don't have an attack that answers the Karn. So you're going to get to plus here. I'm at 12, so I'm going to have to jump block this.
Yeah, you can't even play Murderous Rider? Yeah, God's Fair statue has definitely been annoying to you, that's for sure.
You can go.
All right. Untap. Tick up on the statue. Oh, that doesn't add mana anymore?
Yeah.
So just 5. Nisa. That should put the nail in the coffin. All right, then we'll untap this. 3 counters on that. Crew the boat. Attack. Kill that. Yeah, because I can't attack and crew, so yeah.
I have to chump the statue. I take 8, go to 4.
Go to 4, and then pass to you, you take 1.
I go to 3 on end step. I will return this.
Okay. Oh, wait, I can make a wolf, too.
Oh, you remembered. I can't win. If you forgot, then Rankle kills you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad I am not stupid.
Involved anyway.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think I'm winning that game either way, but I definitely should have killed the Karn.
Yeah, I think you should have killed the Karn, but I agree. I don't think that was the easiest thing for you.
I kept a hand that didn't really have early pressure, but it had the 2 big flyers.
Yeah.
Really important.
Flyers are good against green.
Yeah, and had Fatal Push Murderous Rider. So like that was my hand. It was those 4 and 3 lands.
That's what I figured your hand was, and then my hand was just this for my ramp and Othenis's, and I'm like, and honestly, that's what happened when I played Doomwake in the tournament. I kept a hand of like Deafening Clarion, like a Chain to the Rocks, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna mess with his mana, and then I had like the Luca stuff, so I'm like, this is gonna be great, and then he just goes Haven, Nissa, and I'm just like, what? Come on, this is not cool.
And I had something going there, but then the 2 Voracious Hydras really locked up that game. Just the fact that you were able to deal with both of my flyers there.
Ooh, I finally get to do what you usually get to do and be like, I don't have to sideboard here. But we are going to take a short break, and he's going to be sideboarding. I have an Elder Gargaroth that I can think about bringing in, but that's my only decision. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with sideboarding here on Versus Live.
Welcome back to Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between Mono Black Aggro and Mono Green Devotion. On my side, I am following Thiago Saporito's advice that he tweeted out. To an extent. His advice was to cut Thoughtseize and actually Bloodsoak Champion instead of Dread Wanderer.
Yep.
I think Bloodsoak Champion is a little bit better, just being cheaper to return.
Yeah.
You do have to attack, but you're attacking most of the time anyway. Mm-hmm. And I do like just bringing in a pile of removal and Kalitas, a card that really, turns that removal into a huge cascading advantage. Legion's End is kind of nice because it deals with the cheap creatures, like a big Burning Tree Emissary draw, but also handles Voracious Hydra later in the game. Noxious Grasp is obviously excellent. Heartless Act is fine, but a little awkward in this matchup where a lot of your creatures have +1 function.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that one plays out, but I like the overall strategy here. And once you're bringing in a pile of removal, you do have to cut Thoughtseize because you can't be, you can't cut too many threats. You have to maintain a certain threat density. So, it might seem weird to be cutting what is ostensibly one of the best cards in the deck, but I think it makes sense here with the plan that we're trying to implement in the post-sideboard games.
Yeah, if you would have Legions ended me when I had, Voracious Hydra your spawn, I had another one like the whole time ready for your Rankle, that would have just been such a blowout. Like I would have lost on the spot.
Yeah, would have just ended the game.
That would have been disgusting.
All right, so in our first edition of Is This Card Historically,
okay,
you've got 2 choices.
Okay.
Shaman of the Pack or Beetleback Chief?
Or Beetle what?
Beetleback Chief.
2 red, 2/2 goblin that makes 2 1/1 goblins when it enters the battlefield.
Correct.
And Shaman of the Pack, which is the Golgari elf card from Origins.
And you lose a life for each elf.
Yeah, that one's in Historic.
Because
people have been talking about Collected Company elf decks, so I would assume that's in.
What set was Beetleback Chief in?
I have no idea. But it doesn't matter what set anything in Historic's in. It's all free reign.
Hold on. God, this is already a good one. I feel like I kind of want to just go with Corey, but for some reason I feel like I've tried to make a Goblin deck in Historic a while ago when we played it on Versus and saw Beetleback Chief in the format.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go against him and say Beetleback Chief.
The correct answer is Beetleback Chief.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steus for bringing up Shaman of the Pack, which I also did not know wasn't in the format.
God. Yeah, this game's going to be fun.
1-0. Get that on the scoreboard, Rob.
1-0. Yeah, 0-1 in games, but that doesn't matter. It is all about the what's in historic. All right, Rob, we'll take a question from you as well if you got one of those. Oh, that's too funny.
I had one that I forgot to write down, and I feel bad now.
Oh,
It's fine. The what's in historic is way more important.
that's true. Except that person's like, what? No, it's not. All right, let's do game 2 here. I will be on the draw.
And my hand looks solid. I will keep.
Yeah, my hand's a little sketch, but I think I can keep.
Swamp Knight.
Schwamp.
You're up.
Did someone say schwamp? All right, I am going to start with a lawnmower. Here we go.
A lawnmower. Lawnmower goes brrr. Let's heartless act that. Get him for 1.
You're heartless. 19.
You can go.
All right, now let's start with a little ramp that you can't kill. Your go.
Yeah, that was a good draw. Attack for 1.
All right.
You're at 18. Spawn mayhem.
Okay.
You're up.
All right. The hits are coming. Okay. Let's see what we want to do now.
So 1, 2, 3 curve on the play.
I'm scared.
Yeah, very much on the back foot, which makes the planeswalkers harder to get value from.
I'm afraid.
I've got some nice ones sitting back here.
I'm afraid. I think I have to do this, even though I don't love it. But I think I'm pretty priced in on just trying to, stay alive and stuff. So I'm going to do this for 2 and fight that.
Yeah, that seems like a solid play.
Your go.
So upkeep, I'll go to 19. You'll go to 17?
Yep.
That draw is not very good.
I will go to 13. The beatdowns.
Okay, Scrounger.
Okay.
You're up.
Don't mind that too much. All right. Let's go with... Haven on this.
Yep. Effectively costs Corey 1 mana, so he's down to 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's pretty cute. And then we'll go with the Jade Light. Don't want that. Take that. So 1 counter on this. And then I got an Oath.
Oath, okay. I thought you said elf. Then you reached for your library, and I was confused.
I am so confused. Okay, we got a Nissa who shakes up this game. And then I'm going to pass to you.
So you have 3 in hand right now?
Yep.
Okay. Upkeep, I go to 18. You go to 12?
Yep. I got to deal with the spawn sooner rather than later. But I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. That's future Corey's problem.
Okay. I think it's pretty easy for us to just send in the clowns. This thing doesn't have secret reach, right? Yeah, that's
Oh, it's secret reach.
Always got to check for secret reach these days.
Yeah. I think I'm going to block with this because this can't be fatal pushed as easily. So I do just have to soak up damage no matter what.
Legion's Ended.
Or Legion's End, yep.
So you go to 8?
8.
I will pass the turn.
This sounds suspicious. Very suspicious of you. So you can bring back Scrounger, maybe kill something too. Okay. All right, I think I have to start with Nissa.
Yep.
Oh, I have 1 extra, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you can get up to 5 mana post Nissa.
That's pretty insane. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna tap this. I'm going to tick up on this lamp.
Yep.
Okay.
I think it was kind of Rain of Tears and instant speed there, or
Well, you could kill Nissa.
sure.
Now, suppose I want to get an attack in. Maybe an attack is a little too risky here. I do not want you to kill my forest before I can attack. So, all right, I'm going to not attack. I'm going to add 3 green.
Yep.
I'm going to go with an 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay, I can't do that. Okay. 5 green. Vivian.
So you've got a 3/3 and a 3/2.
Yep.
So there's no way you can kill the spawn with that Vivian.
Correct.
So yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So you have a green floating.
Then I'm going to play. I'm just thinking where I want to put the counters. I kind of think I need to just overload Jade Light so that I can block a Scrounger and live through it, and then try to fight Jade Light to spawn next turn, maybe if you don't attack Vivian. I think that's the best thing I can do. I'm dead to Rankle regardless. So if you have that, you can just show me and we can end the game. Yeah. So yeah, I'll explain all my thought process. I couldn't beat a Rankle regardless, so I wasn't even considering it. But what I was going to try to do was just put 2 counters here and then play a Llanowar and just hope that even if you have 1 removal, I could still live because I could block your Scrounger, and then I would take Mutavault plus Spawn plus the 1 damage, and that puts me to 1, and then I untap and hope to have something. But hindsight, or just the best possible, if you only return that and didn't have a removal spell, I could block Scrounger. You're kind of priced in to attack Vivian to put it down to 1 so I can't fight, and then maybe I could just actually out-pressure you. But it wasn't a winning line. You know, I needed to get quite lucky to do so, but that's the long shot I was going for in a game where I was so far behind.
Yeah. And from my side, the only card I was really worried about is another Voracious Hydra there. So I just pass, hold up Murderous Rider to Swift End of Voracious Hydra to not fight this, and the Rankle's going to kill you.
Yep, exactly. So you played it well, and you were closing every door, and Rankle plus removal, no way I could beat that. Given even just what's in the deck, I don't think there was anything I really could have had.
Yeah. I think that's one of the new weaknesses that's been opened up for this mono green deck is it's a little bit worse against creatures without Walking Ballista.
Yeah,
When you had Walking Ballista and Voracious Hydra, you had a lot of different cards that dealt with creatures. Now, if you fall behind against an aggro deck, the Planeswalkers don't really help you catch up all that much.
Nope.
There is that Heart of Kirin in the sideboard. That one's really nice for the Karn to give you a good blocker that will check Rankle, check my ground creatures, trade with a spawn, and then set you up to just get something bigger the next turn, usually a boat, and really take over. So that's really your only recourse out of the Planeswalkers. But Vivian, sometimes it'll kill a smaller creature when you've got like a Jadelight Ranger or something, but doesn't do a whole lot against aggro decks as we've seen standard. And Nissa, the 3/3s are good on the ground, but your problem in this matchup right now is the flyers.
Agreed.
When you had 2 Voracious Hydras in game 1 to deal with both flyers, you won. Here you didn't deal with the flyer, and they killed you.
Yep, and I mean, honestly, this is a big play draw matchup, but the power of these Planeswalkers is getting them into play when you just played a creature, I have a creature, so we're at parity, and then just using it so, okay, now if you spend your whole turn to destroy it, now I have a much bigger creature, so then I untap for my turn, and now we're not at parity, I'm ahead, so if I have a great follow-up then you're usually just like starting to close out the game.
And if I try to kill you and leave you with the Planeswalkers, you can untap and make some huge play like an Ulamog or
exactly
that takes over the game.
Especially Vivian with Nykthos, just gets out of hand really quickly. So, yeah, I mean, just a nice curve from you. I had a good curve as well, but I think I win that game on the play. I think you win your game on the play, and it's just, unfortunately, as simple as that. Mono green wants to be winning die rolls, and so does mono black.
Indeed. Welcome to Magic.
Welcome to Magic. Okay, so I'm going to go first here in our, final game? Yep, final game here to decide round one.
You got that question, Rob?
Oh, yeah, I'll take it.
Before we start this one?
Yeah, so what's in Historic? Maelstrom Pulse or Elvish Mystic?
Maelstrom Pulse. I've cast it.
Okay, I'll just go with him then. I was leaning that way too, and I was just trying to think, I don't think the Winota decks had Elvish Mystic in them, and they definitely would if they could.
Yeah, I triggered a Niv Mizzet and got Maelstrom Pulse once when I was screwing around, so... Elves too powerful. I just assumed
you hadn't played at all.
Oh, yeah, I've played a little bit, but it doesn't matter if you've played a little or a lot. They're adding cards every week, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I will play first. Vomit. That is the most disgusting hand ever.
You see an Oath, and then you can cast your Vivian.
Yeah. It was a Nissa, thank you.
I have a bit of a different hand than what I've had the first couple games, but it's definitely a keep.
Okay.
We'll see how it plays out.
Alrighty. That was unfortunate. You got another question at all, Rob?
Yeah, so the actual question from earlier was from Heptagon24. They wanted to know the people who it seems like are still trying to build a Lotus Breach combo, do you think they're just kind of trying in spite of it? Is it going to fail, basically?
Yeah, I don't think they're good enough anymore, personally. But... I don't know. I mean, they were around before Breach came around, and they had success, But I do think they're not as good right now.
That said, if you look at the metagame right now, which has a lot of mono green and Niv Mizzet and a little bit less aggro and not these combo decks, it seems like it should be a good metagame for Breach, and it's also under the radar because it's post-ban. Mm-hmm. So if it is good, it should be doing well right now. It did not do well in the Showcase Challenge.
Yeah.
I've heard some rumblings about people doing well with different lists, but the proof is going to be in the pudding there.
Yeah, I played it during that tournament with Jeskai Luka, and I just stuck a Narset and they could never win, And it's just little stuff like that is still really rough for them. I had some sideboard counter spells as well that I transitioned into, and it didn't.
Narset's got to be significantly better there than it used to be. It used to be that you got your card advantage from Breach, and now you're much more reliant on pour over the pages.
Yeah, I mean, it was still pretty bad before. It was still pretty bad before, but they still have to fey for something to figure out how to beat it, and it is pretty tricky. All right, I think I can keep this. It's not great, but good enough. I think we're going to bottom this and start with an Elvish Mystic. Here you go.
I will start with a Blood-Soaked Champion.
Alrighty.
Pass the turn.
I am going to... This isn't a great play. Guess it's not the worst. All right, I'm going to Voracious Hydra. It's pretty sad. Now I'm thinking if I can't kill the Blood-Soaked Champion.
I mean, you could fight it. They would just both die.
Yeah, that'd be bad. So I can make a 2/3, a 3-mana 2/3. All right, I'll do that. Here we go. A little weak, but I didn't have a good play or any play that turn, so I figured I wanted to get something down. And it does roadblock the champion.
Does roadblock the champion. That is true.
Take that, champion. You're 2/1 deck, and I against a 2/3.
He didn't have anything good to do this turn on 3 mana.
What are you talking about? I played a 2/3.
had a green Riot Devil. Certainly that's going to be our land for turn.
Okay.
I'm going to play a Scrap Heap Scrounger.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Okay. Play land. Decisions.
Decisions.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to position. You're just supposed to tap out for stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to play a Vivian. And I have two choices. I can either put a couple counters on each, which would brick wall anything, but then you can kill this, kill Vivian. Or I try to slow your battlefield a little bit by having this deal damage to this, kill that. Then if you kill this, you still get Vivian, but then you have one less creature. And then I would have, an Elvish Mystic that's a 1/1 versus a 2/2. So I think that's better. So yeah, we're going to have this deal damage, and then say go, try to defend it.
Okay, I've got a Legion's End for the Voracious Hydra.
Okay.
Hopefully you got another one. Nope.
I did. Bottom one.
Attack, deal with the Vivian, and play another Bloodsuck Champion.
Alrighty.
Pass the turn.
So another Vivian here is not great.
Yeah, I do have 5 power on the battlefield.
Yep.
The Mutavault.
So I think I might need something better. So I kind of want to just Oath here to start.
I could have Legion's Ended last turn, but I think that the easiest way for me to deal with Vivian was just force it down previous turn. I do lose a Scrounger from the -3, but it'll come back eventually.
And you got how many cards?
3. Same as you.
Well, I drew a land, so I can Vivian tick up, say go, and then even if you have a removal, it doesn't die, but it's not like it's doing much after that. And you could, no, you couldn't really kill it. I mean, Fatal Push would be brutal because you Fatal Push, activate Mutavault, and kill it. Ugh, not great, not great. I don't know if I really have a better play. But even land, Rankle, attack me, make me discard my only creature is kind of bad.
Rankle would just kill the Vivian. I would just throw away a champion.
Yeah, you could do that. I think I have to hope this does something. So I'm going to put counters on this and say go.
Well, my draws have been heinous.
Hooray. I need them too because I am out of gas. I am out of gasoline.
You do have an Oath in hand.
Mm-hmm. I have taken the Oath to Nissa. AKA, so I will draw Nissa. I got a Vivian, a Llanowar Elf, and a Dream.
I can throw away the Mutavault. Which is unfortunate because it's like a creature that you get to chump block that doesn't let me bring back the Scrounger.
Exactly.
Is what the ideal would be.
Or if I block Bloodsuck, you can just bring it back with that.
Yeah, but then it still just takes 2 mana, and I don't get to activate Castle. I've got nothing else to do.
Yeah, I like that.
I've drawn literally all lands this game.
All right.
I hope there was 3 lands in this.
I'm really, really, really glad I made this heads up bottom here. I had 3 lands, Elvish Mystic, and a Vivian, and I was like, God, if I just get Legion's End with this Hydra, it's going to be so bad. Save myself a card there.
Oh. I'm not sure what you usually don't have mid-range threats to get. You have Verdurous Gearhulk, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is really scary. So I think I actually do need to make an attack of the Vivian to stop Verdurous Gearhulk. And if I'm going to make that attack...
Or what you think about Elder Gargaroth?
Jesus. If I'm going to make that attack, I'm just going to throw the Immutable all the way and get it down to 1.
Yeah, I'll block Mutable.
Pass the turn.
All right. Okay. I will start with an Oath.
Yep.
We drew an interesting one. Did not get a good follow-up. So I think I just want to get this, but that does not feel great either. Because Vivian will die if I don't put a body into play. Alright, so I think I just have to get a lawnmower. I'll play it. I'll put 2 counters on it. And I don't think there's a reason to not just play this, because you could rankle me. I think you would probably want to rankle Vivian anyways, so I think I'd rather just hold this. So I'll pass to you.
Need a good one here.
Who?
Jesus Christ.
Sounded like a good one, huh?
You can go.
All right. All right, so I'm going to Wolfhaven this.
Yep.
Gotta nick those.
That's what I figured your card was.
Yeah. So
That's
whatever.
7 mana.
1,000.
2 floating.
Gonna make a wolf. Now I'm gonna put a counter on the wolf, and kind of want to go here and actually get in there. Those can't block. So, yep, we're going to attack for 4.
I'll go to 16.
Okay, your go.
And stuff, I'll go to 12
Okay.
and draw a card.
And that's what I want to do. I want to contain Castle, because eventually he's going to draw out of it with that Castle, so I have to pressure to limit the amount of draws you can get.
Wow. It's just the worst set of draws.
I needed to get lucky. I was so far on the back foot.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Any pressure, any spawn, rankle, or something, and you toasted me this game for sure.
You just didn't know my hand was all lands.
And I had to play that it was, or I really had no play to make. Anyways.
I drew a knight.
Okay.
Which is not the worst, but it's not very good.
Yeah.
I don't have any good attacks to make, so I guess, you can go.
Okay.
At least you don't have anything big enough to -3 on the knight. Say that before you draw something insane.
Yeah. So knight can be pumped to 5 toughness. So if I want to attack, I have to pump this once. Which isn't great. I don't necessarily love to do that, but I don't want you to be able to draw a card. Plus, I do want to deal with that. Plus, with what I drew. All right. Okay. So I'm going to tick up 1 here, 1 here. And I'll attack for 5.
Okay, block.
Okay.
Pump.
Okay, no trample or anything, and then boom, replaced. So I get the counters back onto that one, and I'll pass to you.
Because they went to your Ozolith. And...
Exactly. So not a great turn for me, that's for sure. Okay.
You can go.
All right. Untap. I suppose let's see what we hit off Jade Light and make a better decision. So explore. Huh. I think off the first one, I want to get rid of Jade Light here. I don't think
Snap keep that.
Would you?
Yes.
I mean, I want like a Nissa or something.
You're the beatdown. It'll find you a Nissa. It's just another creature.
Yeah,
My creatures can't attack or block. I'm at 12. I'm drawing cards with Castle. Like, draw gas and kill me.
All right, I'll try it. Since Ross sounds so excited about it. Now, I kind of just want to get in there because this is really hard to kill now, but you are going to bring back a Scrounger. So what if so this is 4, 5, 6, 7. I could make it 9. I mean, I can't pressure lethal, so I should. Did I already take this to 5? Yeah, because I don't think I could get a creature.
It wasn't on 5.
So I do want to be able to block a Scrounger. So I'm going to put 1 here, and I'm going to leave this back. And then I want to put 1 here and get this one in there.
So that's a 5-power attacker.
Mm-hmm.
There's 7. I don't really think I can afford to go to 3, right? But then what do I possibly do to not lose this game? Maybe I have to hit the Noxious Grasp. And I would still just be at 4, staring down 3 creatures that are bigger than anything I have.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know what I draw here. My hand is just 3 swamps.
Yeah, wow, you've been drawing heinously.
7 of my 8 draws this game have been land.
I mean, you have to take 5, bring back a Scrounger. 7, go to 3. I think you probably do have to draw, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
So I guess you draw first, because you could hit a removal spell for this wolf.
I drew the Noxious Grasp.
Wow, okay. I mean, you could just kill the wolf then, right?
I could kill the wolf, but, I've got to deal with this, so otherwise you Ulamog me next turn, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because you have 8 devotion, so you have 12 mana.
Yeah.
Which means even if I kill any of these creatures, you have 10, because they all represent 2 mana, 1 point of devotion and tapping, and 2 points of devotion. So you have 10 mana regardless of any of these that I kill.
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely have to deal with the Vivian.
Yeah, and you can only have 4 creatures, so if you killed Jade Light, you would only get 2 creatures in, and it would still stay alive, but,
Yeah, so I think I've got to go here.
Okay.
And that puts me to 9, and then take 5, go to 4.
Okay, and then you go.
And maybe Kalitas can help me live for a turn.
Kalitas would be good.
All of these attack through Kalitas, and they're all lethal.
Yeah, I mean, Kalitas would suck. I do not want to see a Kalitas.
How about another Castle Lock to me?
That's pretty good, yeah. All right.
It seemed like one good spell really in that game to deal with that Vivian, and I think once that happens, I'm in really good shape.
Yeah, and I had to make that's not a great play to make. Against the mono black deck, make
3
a
cards in
3/3. Yeah, I did not feel good about that situation, but it came down to the situation when is this Vivian going to ever do anything more? And sure, I could have oathed into Jade Light, got that going, and then tried to play Vivian around when I had a little bit more defense. But it felt pretty bad. It felt like I had to do something. And I mean, Vivian was insane if you couldn't deal with it there. It probably added, 10 power to my board over the course of the game. And that's where you see the power of the Planeswalkers, is when you don't have a perfect way to deal with them right away. The incremental value that they gain is off the charts. And that's how Mono Green is good.
And you saw, the weakness of the cheap creatures in this matchup. There was a game where I did not draw a single flyer.
Yeah.
And it was the flyers that were always the major threat from the mono black side. You were able to deal with them in game 1, so you won the game. You couldn't deal with them in game 2, I won. And I just didn't have any in game 3. And so I just had a hard time applying pressure because you're able to generate so many good blockers on the ground. And really, that's the thing that really makes the recursive threats weak, because they're all pretty small. They don't get into combat that well. But if your opponent is interacting with removal spells, then they're great. But if they're interacting with 3/3s and 4/4s, it doesn't matter that they keep coming back. They're never going to be able to attack profitably.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that's why Sultai was so good against it. I mean, obviously it just had a plethora of removal, but there's Satyr Wayfinders, which are just meant to find lands and dig for Uro, killed, your aggressive creatures, and then you have Uro coming back to outclass them. There's, I can't remember exactly what was all played in the creatures, but there was a lot of just
Uro,
bigger butts.
The really powerful things that just took over the end game are the important thing. Because if your end game is just marginal card advantage into some sort of finisher, the mono black deck has good removal for whatever finish you have, especially if it's a planeswalker, and will outpace you in the long game with Mutavault and Castle Lock the Way in and the recursive threats.
Yeah.
So you need something that really dominates the battlefield. Uro does it for the Sultai decks. For mono green, it's these planeswalkers.
Yeah. But one thing to take away from this match, this was our hardest match to plan, just because we don't love just aggro decks against aggro decks, because, whatever, sometimes they're really interesting. But this is two very good aggro decks in a world where we're not seeing aggro. Just in Magic right now, aggro is kind of just not doing great, just because of Uro, because of just powerful control decks and bad mana bases, as you were saying earlier in the show. But you don't need to have, or you can't have a bad mana base when you have monocolored decks. And these are two very, very strong monocolored aggressive decks.
Yeah, 100%. They play to the battlefield well. They have, a good end game to play through that powerful interaction that you were talking about, and consistent mana, so that they get to, roll over opponents who stumble. And in this case, it was me who stumbled when I just didn't have a follow-up for turn 4.
Yep.
We both sort of had reasonable starts on turns 1 through 3. If my turn 4 was good, I'm in a commanding position. It wasn't, so you were in a commanding position.
Yeah, I like that you were, holding all the lands there. That was a nice feeling for me.
Not particularly much.
So we're gonna head to our second round here. I'm gonna be playing. I'm just so excited. The next two decks are like my favorite decks, and I also love this deck. This show is just like built for me, because I love these decks. Next up, I'm going to be playing Niv to Light. This was, I don't know exactly the list. I want to say this was Nassif's from the top 8.
He took second.
Yeah.
The Showcase Challenge. And he's played a lot of these Niv decks in Pioneer.
Yeah.
Played them a bit modern too. So.
I was hanging out during his stream during this tournament, and I was one of the 4 XOs at one point. It was me, Nassif, Doomwake on mono green, and then a Spirits deck. So I'm just like, give me that 20 or that 33% flip to play against Nassif, because that's Luca's very, very good matchup, and he's just hoping to dodge me. And then he played Spirits, I played mono green, we both lost. So pretty cool on that one. But Niv Mizzet up against.
I am going to be playing Naya Wynota, another one of the aggro decks that is popping up in this post-ban metagame. Very, very powerful deck. We saw Wynota in Standard on Tuesday's show, and gets a lot of really good tools in Pioneer as well. Definitely a one to watch out for if you have been out of the loop in Pioneer recently.
Well, I'm scared. Playing against Wynota, every turn 4, you just have to hold your breath. I am quite scared for this matchup. But we are going to take a short 5-minute break, and we'll be right back with round number 2 here on Versus Live.